Dice Company contains fantasy violence, mature themes, and unapologetic bickering. No feelings were hurt in the making of it, but listener discretion is advised. Dice Company will always be free, but it's not free to make. Please consider supporting us on Patreon or Apple Podcasts and get access to our weekly roundtable show Extra Roll. Just follow any of the links in the show notes for this chapter.
On the deck of the Ravager, 4 figures stand in a circle in the large, blackened throne room. Atop his golden throne sits Emperor Salazar, watching them, his attention on something to his left. His damaged fingers poke and prod at something beyond the sight of the others. Astrid, the Shadow Vanguard of Lunadyne, speaks the loudest.
The war in Crimson Reach should be over before it starts. The Sons of Kale will deal with that. But my worry is on the Shadow Vanguard. In the last 6 months, we've lost 9, including Tavish, Tiara, Lady Omicron, and Morven. Our replacements in Deepmon were slaughtered too. There's only 3 of us left.
2.
Replies Paragon Ra.
Alariac was murdered by a group in River City.
Alariac too. So only me and Taran remain.
And she gestures to the hulking figure stood next to her. He is wearing black full-plate armor and is stood bolt upright, his hands resting on the pommel of a greatsword, which is pointed at the floor. He bows his head in response, as Astrid asks,
Was that the order too?
No, not this time. It was a band of mercenaries, but we do not believe them to be a threat.
How are we meant to replace all of the fallen Vanguard?
Joseph is in Lunadyne, experimenting on potential replacements. But perhaps with their proven ineptitude, we should retire the Vanguard. I see little reason to rekindle such a failed experiment.
Torren, the hulking knight, swings his sword into the air, but Paragon Ra raises a hand as they float on the spot. The sword glows white hot and Torren drops it.
A failed experiment? Those are choice words from you. I seem to remember your dear friend Ohm fared little better against the Order of the Heron.
The automaton proved troublesome.
Troublesome is one word for it. They slaughtered 3 Vanguard and Ohm. Perhaps we should retire the Paragons instead. The Order are not some insignificant band anymore. They are a threat, one which needs to be dealt with, and we can't deal with them while we're here.
Silence, all of you,
booms the 4th person. He is a bald human dressed in gleaming golden white armor.
I should kill you where you stand. Useless! This should not be difficult. They have the Obsidian Matrix. We need it. Once we have it, we can begin.
He rubs his temples.
Erickson wanted us here 2 weeks before the ceremony. A show of unity ahead of his coronation.
I don't like this place. Something about it feels off.
There is certainly something unusual here.
That is not our concern. Any word on the rituals?
No, Chestergate. They have proven ineffective. There is a protection around the Order which I cannot pierce. We are tracing sending messages, but there have been none in months. The last known location of the first son of Donothlia and Highmore was aboard the stolen vessel, heading south from the Fingers. They were accompanied by Lux, Clearveil, the Tiefling, the Maskweaver, and the Red Wizard of Goresh.
Have you tried performing the scrying ritual on them?
No response from Lux or the Tiefling. The Red Wizard's mind is too damaged. The Maskweaver impossible to find. And I did not try on Clearveil, for obvious reasons.
Will the Maskweaver be a problem?
Almost certainly, but they will present themselves one way or another. What of Sanctuary?
There is no sign of Nocturna, but with the Order elsewhere, there seems little point targeting a group of farmers.
They worked as a trap before. They could again.
Unlikely. I don't know what Lux told them, but he knew more than he should have.
There is a moment of silence as the figures turn to face the Emperor. In that silence, his half-masked face turns towards them, and he closes the compartment in the arm of his throne. Slowly, he gets to his feet, and he leans heavily on his golden staff as he shuffles across the polished black marble floor towards them. Each bow as he approaches.
My lord, we need to get this ceremony out the way and get back to Athlon. It doesn't feel right being so far away for too long.
Silence once again fills the air, but it is punctuated by the appearance of a small fizzing pink spark, which begins to spin in the air above the group. Paragon Ra raises their hands to cast a spell, but the Emperor raises his own to stop his servant. Salazar gives a small, almost imperceptible nod to the others, one which tells them not to try and counter the spell. Then, suddenly, a bright pink flash fills the room, along with the ripping sound of a portal opening above their heads. Welcome one and all to the Independent Podcast Award shortlisted comedy extravaganza Dice Company Small Embers Chapter 54, where a group of Independent Podcast Award shortlisted friends weave tales of triumph, heroism and despair under the guise of playing Dungeons and Dragons. My name is Tom, the Independent Podcast Award shortlisted DM, who will guide you through the continuing adventures of the 3 remaining members of the Independent Podcast Award shortlisted Level 7 Order of the Heron. Level 7 Order of the Heron, please introduce yourselves and let's level up those characters.
Did you say independent
Independent podcast? We're about the history of fish. Welcome to our codcast.
I didn't say codpast, did I?
No, I was jumping on Charlie there.
Good.
This is a pylon. Get involved. Come on. Call yourself a millennial.
I'm out of breath. I'm out of breath.
And I'm annoyed because, you know, you tripped. I was there. I was ready. I had the knife out and then I tripped. No one needs that.
Stab myself through the foot.
Yeah. Et me brutai. I don't know how that works. Need more Latin.
That's it. Trailing off there. Excellent. So you guys have leveled up to level 7. What are you going to do? Let's do this. Let's go in a circle, starting to my left. Harry, what have you done for level 7 Tock?
Well, so level 7 for Artificer has all of no options. Tock has increased his count of second level spells by 1, and he has also developed a Flash of Genius.
Ooh, and what is Flash of Genius?
It's like a slightly cheaper version of Augustus's saving throw bonus thing, except I can only do it like 5 times per long rest. But it does stack with Augustus's, which is particularly useful.
Thus, eliminating any options I have for any saving throws for you guys.
Well, I mean, it's not that, like, you don't have any chance. It's that we just get a +9 bonus to whatever saving throw happens to be. So, for instance, if it was an intelligence saving throw, Tock would be on a +17 to his roll.
Are you saying we can't die?
I'm saying that we're about to die in this episode. Sorry. Chapter.
But then we won't.
Are you saying that Big Ern is finally above the law?
Big Ern is above the law! Very nice. I'm glad we've started our level up chat with a level where you don't really get a huge amount.
Well, in that case, can I piggyback off that?
Oh, God. Go on, then.
Well, there isn't really much for Augustus here. I don't get any new spells. I get an extra channel divinity, so I've got 2 of them now.
That's pretty awesome.
Which is very good. I rolled for hit points and got 7, but I don't know. It didn't show me what D that was. So is that like I'm hoping that was like a D8
D10, I think, for paladins.
D10. All right. Happy for that. I was hoping it wasn't a D100. I could have been an absolute tank and I just rolled a 7. So yeah, there wasn't much else for Augustus. But he feels a new sense of confidence and, he's happy in his own skin, which is an expression that I really don't like and I'm really annoyed that I used it. Why wouldn't you be happy in your own skin? Who else's skin would you be? Well, actually, Tock down for that.
So how depressed would you be if you leveled up and that's what the book told you? You feel a new sense of confidence. Is that it?
Yeah. You're not actually any better, but you feel it.
Your +7 HP, is that +7 after your constitution modifier? I'm guessing it must be. Your constitution is what, 16?
My constitution is 16.
So that's a +3. So you got 10 extra hit points or 7 total?
Oh, I think I got 7.
So you rolled a 4.
No. He rolled a 1d10, got a 7.
Yeah, so I've got it's put me on 74.
Oh my God, that's quite a lot of hit points.
You've got 74 hit points.
It's got a ridiculous number of hit points.
Man.
So Tock, I rolled a 4 with Tock's constitution of 17 brings him up from 51 to 58 hit points.
Solid, a little underwhelming.
It's below average.
It feels like Tock has a lot more than that, though. I know you can halve all damage and,
not all damage.
Make a golden shield.
So is that what happens when you guys level up? You get significantly stronger in hit points. Is that
because we've got positive constitution modifiers? Yes,
And they're not wizards.
I see. Because I might be getting weaker.
you get 1d4 minus 1, which
1d6.
1d6 minus 1. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on 28. I'm pre-roll, but I'm on 28 right now.
28 at level 6 is appalling.
Yep.
But I can't die, Dom. You forget.
It's written.
Don't tempt me, Frodo. I want to be the DM just to smite Vander right now. In fact, actually, no, I'd scratch that. I always want to be the DM and smite Vander.
That's fair.
So let's do Vander, said no one ever.
Stay toxic. Okay, so I'm going to roll. I'm just doing this live. So I'm going to roll, and I scored a number. Didn't seem to come up. Anyone know where that went?
Did you roll a 0?
Yeah, I can see you rolled 4.
Oh, okay. So I rolled the average. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm just going to skip to next.
So that's 3 extra hit points for Vander.
Ooh.
Which sort of feels pointless, really.
You kidding me? I could use those points. So I'm still going to stay aligned to the school of abjuration.
Mm-hmm.
And lots
Abjuration
of great imagery here.
I don't think you have a choice in that, do you?
I'm making out like it's a choice, but you're right, there are no buttons. From the book I'm reading.
Exactly. And with your incredible knowledge of the class you are playing, obviously you know that there are no options. Don't ignore me while I'm trying to teach you to be a better D&D
Stop
player.
ignoring me when I'm developing you.
I believe he gets his first 4th level spell.
Okay.
Big moment.
Big moment. I mean, level 4's a bit trash, but still a big moment.
Yeah.
Spells. That's
It's
what we're
not the
talking
best level of spells, is it? But
No. You don't have the excitement of like Fireball at level 3 or Counterspell or Lightning Bolt.
I've got a whole new book of spells, and I'm super psyched about all of them. Okay.
what's he going to pick?
My God. Polymorph. I mean,
Yeah, okay. I was going to say that's the solid choice of the lot. Although Gate Seal might be quite a good one for us at the moment.
I am not spending my level 4 awesomeness on your trifling issues.
At your level, Vander could turn into a giant ape, a mammoth, Triceratops. You're one level away from T-Rex.
It's really hard not to just go. I mean, that's just
A swarm of rats, a giant shark, giant crocodile,
a swarm of rats.
a brontosaurus, which doesn't technically exist, does it? I thought that was the one that they found doesn't exist anymore.
I don't know.
Brachiosaurus and
There's Charm Monster. You could get some sense out of Tock with this spell.
Hang on. Are you saying Brontosaurus has been uninvented?
I thought it was brontosaurus. Yeah,
Is it been renamed? Is it now actually part of the like Apatosaurus range?
yeah. I
or
was going to
something
say I
like
think
that?
it's an apatosaurus now.
Who the fuck am I playing D&D with? I feel like I'm with Dr. What's his face from
Sigmund?
Jurassic Park. What the hell's his name? What's Samuel's character called?
Alan Grant.
Dr. Alan Grant.
Oh my God, there's banishment here. I could send one creature of my choosing to another plane of existence.
Can I raise a plot complaint about Jurassic Park right now?
Yeah, go for it. I mean,
we're leveling up to level 7. Now is the time.
Is it about the fences or Nedry?
So, no, those things are flawless. I've checked. But there's the bit where, what's the lady called? The other Dr. Grant's wife or partner or whatever?
I really want to say dog with Dr. Sigmund, but it's not.
Dr. Ellie Sattler.
Okay, so Dr. Ellie Sattler discovers a Triceratops lying on its side, feeling poorly.
Right.
And she goes up to like the zookeeper guy and says, "Hey, isn't this Californian lilac or something? That's toxic." And he's like, "Yeah, but they don't eat it." And that turns out to be what's poisoning the dinosaurs. It's like, what? So the keepers planted toxic plants? Like, no, I'm pretty sure that's fine. That's weird. We planted toxic plants everywhere. Now the dinosaurs are all lying down for some reason.
Yeah, well, hold on.
It's like her like Sherlock Holmes genius moment is like they're obviously eating the toxic plants. It's so annoying that the zookeepers didn't notice that.
I mean, they're not all old hands at dinosaur keeping, now are they?
It's a fairly new field.
Exactly.
They couldn't ask for 20 years experience now, could they?
Yeah, exactly. They're all novices,
I mean, they could.
right? Yeah, they could.
They'd only get a bunch of grifters.
Yeah, I was going to say, they would get takers. Yeah, I've been looking after Triceratops all my life.
Oh my God, I don't look after anything with less than 3 horns. I've got a quadceratops in my garage.
Go 3-horned ground lion.
That's a comment in an interview that gets a follow-up question every time, isn't it?
I have to stick to my interview script, but what the fuck did you just say? Honestly, with the next question.
Well, thanks for listening to Extra Roll. We'll be back next week. Oh, no, wait. This is the actual podcast. Hey, Vander, what are you choosing?
I don't know anymore.
Evard's black tentacles of forced intrusion.
Oh, sorry, I can't. We say those words again.
That was a joke. Some people get it.
Okay, I'm going polymorph. Okay, well, I'm done. Level 7.
And remember, one person's craziness is another person's normal. So let's turn the page to the next chapter of Dice Company.
Just pulled that one out of your ass to make me look stupid, didn't you? Well played.
Previously on Dice Company. Augustus, Vander and Tock. You step through the portal, leaving Bennie behind in the prime material plane. The sensation is strange, pulling at your limbs, twisting and contorting them. You feel dizzy as you swirl around in the dark black maelstrom. As it reaches its height, you appear through the other side. You are in a long tunnel. This is not a naturally formed tunnel, but rather one which has been dug out of the ground. The tear sits against the back wall of this tunnel, while ahead of you it slopes upwards for around 600 feet. It's not unreasonable to think that whoever dug the hole did so until they reached the tear. At the other end of the tunnel, you can see a purple-tinged moon in the sky. On the floor next to you are 2 dead creatures. They're unlike anything you've ever seen before. They have the torsos of pale elven creatures, but from the waist down, they have the legs of giant spiders. Next to both of them are trident-like weapons and a long stick with a lantern on the end, which flickers and glows in the darkness. Both have impact wounds on their heads, heavy damage caused by a blunt weapon, most likely a hammer. As you look around at one another, it is strange to see that some of the colour has been drained from each of you, so it's almost monochrome as you look around.
Augustus,
Vander says, climbing back to his feet.
you're lucky we were able to join you in this plane. A bold move, if I may say.
Where is he? Where's Morven? And Augustus stares up the tunnel. So I can see quite far in a straight line and there's no other side roads?
Nope. Straight tunnel. You can see straight up. And despite the fact that it's kind of dark and black and whites and greys and almost monochrome, you can see as if it were bright daylight.
And no sign of Morven anywhere along the tunnel?
No sign of Morven.
Has he had time in the normal passage of time as we've experienced it to have come out of here, fought these creatures and cleared the tunnel?
He would have had to have moved very quickly to get up the tunnel and away in the normal flow of time.
Oh, could time have changed somehow? How has he escaped?
Unclear,
says Vander as he reaches for the lantern to hold it aloft and to make sure they're alone.
In the plane of Concordia, time was reported to move differently to our plane.
Should we chase him?
I think that caution is now in order,
says Vander, peering around.
judging by the 2 gruesomely murdered aberrations beside us.
Yeah, so Augustus pauses there to examine those and see if there's anything else he can discern about them.
Okay, give me an investigation check.
That is a 9.
The only thing you can tell is that their heads have been bashed in by a blunt object, most likely a hammer.
Augustus opens his pack and takes out some bandages and ointments and things and sort of treats his own wounds and is obviously happy to treat other people's wounds should they need that kind of help.
Tock will start trying to repair Tick of his wounds and damage.
Vander, meanwhile, has turned back to the portal.
And now, after the relevant cogitations, Bennie will arrive. Now.
And nothing happens.
Vander, after a significant time, the portal will lead to a random location.
And now.
Vander says again.
And nothing happens.
Tock, are you saying Bennie cannot follow us?
Indeed, Augustus. Bennie remains on the prime material plane.
Can we go back for him?
Yes, although it will take trial and error.
So we may not return to where we came from?
That is correct.
Now.
Augustus looks into the tear and obviously feels some guilt, realising that he's basically forced Bennie into a quick decision, that Bennie's hesitated or, decided not to follow, and realising that he's left Bennie on it, well, not on his own, but with Bardol, which is probably worse.
Augustus, I believe Bennie was too injured to move to the portal in time.
Now.
Oh, I'm sorry for him. But perhaps he's better off where he is. Okay, it looks like we're in a dangerous place.
Indeed.
What should we do then, gentlemen? Any repairs or recovery you can do? I would like to press on and catch Morven.
Vander takes a step closer to the portal.
But you were supposed to come through.
Who was, Vander?
Bennie was supposed to come through. I know he's indecisive, but he was meant to be here with us.
Vander, with Bennie's approximate speed, I would calculate that if he entered the portal, he would have arrived at a random location on a different plane. Correction, at the tear on a different plane.
Let us hope then that he stayed where he was. Perhaps Bardol can take him back to the tavern and they can recover.
Vander opens the book that he was reading frantically as they step through the portal and begins leafing through it again. Finally, he arrives at the page he tore out and handed to Bennie.
He does at least have the page,
he says almost to himself.
What is this page, Vander? Is now really the time to be looking at books? What could possibly be in there that tells us about our situation now? Our enemy is getting away.
The future, Augustus. The future is on that page.
Tock is going to start walking up to the end of the tunnel.
I do not understand, Vander. I'm going with Tock. You come with us. We'll talk about this book when we have time.
I hope for all our sakes that Bennie understands. But you're right. We must go.
And Vander takes one last look at the portal before turning away and raising the lantern in the direction of the passage upwards.
Tock, you make your way up the 600-foot tunnel, followed by Augustus with Vander in the rear. After a few minutes, you reach the lip of the cave and find yourself stood before a vast, twisted forest of sorts. Although the trees look petrified and the normal vibrant colours you're used to are diluted to the point of being almost black and white. The landscape before you is mountainous, rising and falling in all directions. There are a handful of scattered lights on the mountainsides ahead, notably one to the left, one to the right, while on the mountaintop dead ahead in the far distance is a tall, unusual, slender tower. and heading in the direction of that tower is a pathway made of broken and displaced bricks.
So Tock is going to emerge carefully and check for an ambush from Morven.
Yep, give me a perception check.
10. Hopefully he's not prepared one.
There are no signs of Morven or traps laid by Morven, or in fact, traps laid by anyone.
The immediate area appears safe. Vander, Augustus, what are we to do?
What is that building in the distance? Some sort of tower there. I see a town or a village each side. I do not know where we are, but what is that base?
Unknown, Augustus. We are on a unfamiliar plane of existence.
Vander emerges from the tunnel.
Ah, indeed a landscape fit for one known as the Hushed One. I'm more confident than ever that he is here.
Who is the Hushed One, Vander? We hear his name again and again, and I don't understand. What is this plane? What are these different planes? I just want to find Morven.
Well, to answer that question, Augustus, we would need to turn to books,
Vander says, holding up the book.
Indeed, Vander. The collection of Elias the Wanderer may prove useful. Tock will take out the remaining... I assume that Vander's got one of the copies? What book you been reading, Vander?
I've been reading a tome that had no specific title.
Okay, then Tock will take out the 11 tomes of Elias the Wanderer and we'll start reading through with Vander's help.
More books, says Augustus, and he puts his hands on his hips and sort of rolls his head back to look at the stars, just completely frustrated about his friends and their bookishness in this time of crisis.
Tock, as you begin reading, Augustus, can you roll a d20 for me, please?
That is a natural 20.
Maybe should have gone back in the tunnel to read our books rather than doing it out in the open.
Holy shit.
You guys absolutely love monstrous rolls at... Oh my god.
I don't worry, Al, the book problem's been solved.
Okay.
Yeah, our books are about to get eaten, along with us.
Tock, as you rifle through the books, while Augustus and Vander argue about what to do and where Bennie is, with the petrified forest before you, you hear a woof coming from up in the sky. The familiar sound of leathery wings cruising through the air is a dragon, its red scales vibrant against the colourless sky.
Oh, fuck me.
Yeah, so Tock's, obviously he's got one of the books in his hands, but he's just gonna, back in the bag holding and run back in the tunnel and shout to the others, alarm, alarm.
That 100% Augustus is running for that tunnel at the first possible moment. He will, if Vander is far out in the open, he will grab Vander by the scruff of the neck and drag him.
Well, we're currently in the tunnel mouth, basically, aren't we?
Yeah, but we need to be like at least a dragon's neck's distance down the tunnel. I'm going right. We are about face and run now.
Can I have stealth checks from all of you, followed by athletics checks from all of you, please?
Oh, I'm automatically a disadvantage for the stealth
because you've got heavy
armor.
Yeah.
Okay, then 5.
Dirty 20 for Vander.
Very nice.
Natural 1 for Tock.
Oh shit!
Augustus grabbing Vander and clanking along while Vander was like slipping away like a thief in the night. Augustus was like, hey, I'll help you, I'm really loud.
Athletics 6, so good luck with that.
All right, hang on, hopefully I can flip the scales on that one. Oh god, please tell me I can. Oh my god, a natural 1 for 4.
Can I make myself more grabbable?
I mean, the problem is not how grabbable you are at the moment. It's the fact that Augustus is loudly and slowly moving into the tunnel.
Okay, well, Tock's got to secure these books. So Tock's armor flares into like a lightning crackle, which takes him to a 15.
Fucking hell. Okay. Let's think about this. Let's all just fucking take a breath.
I really hope not a fire.
Oh my god.
It's got to travel a fair way, surely.
Is a red dragon good compared to... We had a young black dragon last time, that was a problem. Is a red dragon more friendly and weaker?
A red dragon is marginally more powerful than a black dragon. If it's an adult dragon, then we want to move quite fast. Faster than we've been moving.
You think I shouldn't be rolling natural ones? Actually, no, you did as well, so well done us.
I did, yeah. Yeah. For stealth, though. At least I rolled high for running away.
You want a slap on the back for that, do you?
As you make your way into the tunnel, making an awful lot of noise, with Augustus even managing to trip as he desperately drags Vander backwards, the sound of the leathery wings gets louder and louder. You cannot see the adult red dragon, but it has definitely seen you and is flying towards you at speed. Desperately, you scramble further into the tunnel, doing everything you can to escape the incoming attack.
Well, it now feels like a fire death tunnel. Holy shit. This is a straight 600 meter race to the portal, right?
Well, 600. Was it 600 feet?
600 feet.
Okay, well that's shorter.
Roll initiative. Fuck it. Let's get you guys in an order.
Oh, man.
Fucking hell.
9 for Vander.
9?
14 for Augustus.
And 8 for Tock.
I am not high on magic either.
Top of the initiative order is obviously the red dragon. So as you're running, making sure to look behind you, you see a huge shadow suddenly land with a heavy thump in the entranceway as you are now a good 180 feet down the tunnel when it lands at the entrance.
How long is the tunnel in total?
600.
Oh my god.
I can't remember how far its breath weapon reaches.
But the dragon
Depends how
can
close
follow us
they're
into the tunnel, right? Is that
Yeah,
correct?
they're real quick as well. They're much quicker than us.
It's a 60-foot cone for the red dragon breath.
Okay, so we've got a head start.
I think the idea is to not be within that cone.
Oh my fucking god. I knew something like this would happen. I just, when you know, you just fucking, oh my god.
It's like we set foot in this new land. It was like, if I take one more step, Mr. Frodo, we're about to set off on our big adventure, and then just a dragon comes, and we just have to run away from this new place. But Sam and Frodo just went, nope.
You know when you turn like a computer game up to the most ridiculous setting? This is what would be if you played Lord of the Rings on boss mode. You just instantly meet Smaug as you reach the edge of the Shire.
There's a non-zero chance that we just pop back into the library at the same time as Benny's just walking out. We're like, that was a mistake. We're just not going to go through that again.
There's a very much non-zero chance that we're all going to die.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably above 50. So
Really?
Save for the fact that I can't die.
Well,
I mean, you're tempting fate there. A little bit.
You have any idea what I can change into now?
So you're 420 feet away, so I need to go 80 feet into a 500-foot long corridor. So 10...
Do you know those Bill and Ted's? You know, where they go to another land and instantly get presented with a deadly foe of some kind?
You are 180 feet ahead of the dragon when it lands, and so that will be its effective first turn. Therefore, Augustus...
sorry, its first turn was to do what? Sorry?
To land on the ground at the mouth of the cave. It is 180 feet behind you. You can see it because it is shimmering red in this monochrome world.
How intelligent are red dragons?
Very.
Maybe more than us. Actually, possibly not more than Tock, but more intelligent than the others, you two.
No, not more intelligent than Tock.
Yeah, okay.
Can we assume that the dragon is some kind of high-functioning idiot then?
It's same intelligence as you, Vander.
Oh,
Yes, we can't assume that.
Walked right into that cave. Okay.
Has someone just drawn 2 boulders on the map?
I don't think those are boulders.
Have you seen where we're running towards?
Oh. I've just scrolled down the map. Just absolutely schoolyard stuff for the listeners there.
Boys' own stuff, those. So, Augustus, you have dragged Vander by the scruff of his neck into the tunnel, following Tock, who has been making good progress. 180 feet behind you is a red dragon shimmering against the monochrome world, and it is staring directly at you as it roars. Maybe not like that. Maybe I'll put in a dragon sound effect like this.
Vander stops running. It is a high-functioning idiot.
We are being pursued by an angry chihuahua.
Damn it, in my head I thought I sound like a chihuahua as well. It's annoying to hear someone else agree with my brain. Damn it.
Assessing my options, but they are many.
Run, 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 run or run.
Okay, so question. If dragons are so intelligent, can you reason with them, and do they always just eat, travellers when they come across
You
them?
absolutely can reason with them. They're famously vain, and imagine like a mouse trying to reason with a cat.
Okay, cool.
Or Bilbo trying to reason with Smaug.
Exactly, yeah.
Is reasoning completely stupid here then?
Yes, it's almost always completely stupid.
Also, conceivably, we're in its nest. I mean, this is a strangely large hole carved into the rock of the landscape, and the DM's expression tells me that's exactly where we are. No wonder he's annoyed.
I had my poker face on.
Yeah. I could detect thoughts, but presumably it's just thinking barbecue.
I'm actually okay with Vander trying to reason with it because it will give Tock some more running time. Briefly.
I'm obviously going to run, and although Vander and I have the same movement, sort of narratively, Augustus is dragging Vander along, but I think I don't need to do that, do I, for, like, actual mechanically? Would moving the drift globe be an action, or could that be a bonus action?
I'm going to say you can do that as an interact with object rather than a bonus. It doesn't specify, and that to me says
Fine.
Do it as you wish.
Okay, so Augustus is going to, first of all, run at full tilt down the tunnel alongside Vander, helping Vander along. And I'm going to float the drift globe back towards the dragon in a sort of slow, ethereal way, in a way that hopefully it just takes its attention for a minute, just to see what this odd magical object is, just in any way I can to delay it, just so it, like, buzzes around the dragon a bit, goes past the dragon out the cave, just to see if it can distract the dragon at all to slow it down.
Okay, cool.
It's the only thing I can move that's not my own body.
And I appreciate you said you're dragging Vander, but mechanically we can't have Vander moving on your turn. So unless you're
That's fine. So
actually physically, yeah.
I'm guessing Chuck and I will just go in lockstep, like in our various turns. And
Well,
Charlie immediately polymorphs into a giant ape and runs the opposite direction.
as a bonus action, I'm going to cast Shield of Faith on Vander, which gives him +2 AC.
Nice, Vander. Increase your AC by 2.
Thank you very much.
And I'm also going to dash to move 60 feet to go as far as I can, hauling Vander along as I go.
Vander?
Vander is going to kind of half run, half get dragged with Augustus. As he looks behind him and realizes the dragon is absolutely following them in the tunnel, Vander casts Misty Step and appears a further 30 feet in front of Augustus. As he suddenly bamps and appears 30 feet ahead of the party, he turns over his shoulder.
Run, boys!
Absolutely classic Vander behaviour. Takes the assist for the dash and then bamps ahead.
Can I hold an action, please, Dom, since I haven't used an action?
You did use an action to dash.
Dashed.
Oh, very good.
So no.
Can I please end my turn?
Of course you can.
Oh, well, thank you.
Tock.
Okay, so Tock is going to basically follow the other two. He is going to move and dash 60 feet, and then because of a supreme effort of will, using his bonus action, he's just going to move another 30 feet.
Can we just say stuff like that? Can I just say, I want it more? And then...
I mean, you can try. I wouldn't recommend it. Oh, I forgot to put Tick on as well.
Tick's in the bag currently, I think. Oh, no, he wasn't. No, I said he was being healed. So Tick is, to be honest, to move faster. Tick's in the bag.
Okay, cool.
He was just referencing the indexing the library of books that are still in there.
Sat there with like just a hand with a candle on it. There's little glasses on the end of his non-nose.
Vander, Tock is moving faster than you've seen him move before. His limbs are like just a blur.
That must be the case, because I absolutely would have reached out and grabbed you if I'd known you were going to streak past me.
Even from the distance that you're at, you hear the warmth of its wings as it takes flight and begins to fly at speed down the tunnel.
Oh, I didn't realize it was big enough there's enough room to fly down here.
Oh, yeah.
You did not spot that there was a fun toy hovering in the tunnel entrance.
As the dragon cruises, the drift globe kind of floats around trying to get its attention, and the dragon's massive maw opens and it snaps shut on the drift globe, swallowing it whole. Please remove drift globe from your inventory.
I don't know if it slowed it. Did it?
It did not slow it at all.
Yeah.
It literally caught it at top speed.
If anything, it sped it up. It was like a lure. It was showing the dragon where to find it.
It's like an energy drink. Augustus.
That's my turn again. Oh, shitting hell. I honestly don't think I've got anything but run away.
So the max run you can do is 60 feet, right, at a go?
Yeah, and it's going to move at 160 feet per second per turn.
Is it? So it's absolutely going to catch us?
Yeah, make it clear. So we've got 365 feet for Augustus to get to the end.
Oh, I've got him at 360. I appreciate it's only 5 feet, but
Yeah.
Well, that's a question of whether I reach it on one turn or another.
Yeah, 6 turns, and then the dragon's going to reach us next turn, I think.
Okay. Oh, do I do this? I think this is my biggest ever D&D decision. Oh, I don't know if I can do it. It's like taking one of your pets to the vet to have them put down. I feel genuinely scared. Okay. Lagging at the back, Augustus sees that they're not going to escape the dragon, and his sprinting slows and then stops. Almost reluctantly, he stops in a tunnel and turns to face the dragon. He draws Nox's greatsword and casts Divine Favour, which makes it glow for what it's worth, as it's a burning blade anyway, and gives it some extra radiant damage when the time comes, and then sets his feet apart and waits for his enemy to arrive.
Shit.
holy shit.
My thinking here is if we make a stand together, we're all going to die, aren't we? And Augustus sees that he can delay the dragon for a short period, and that might be enough for the others.
Red dragons are highly intelligent, right?
Yeah. Well, as intelligent as Vander, yeah.
If they're not that, okay, if I knew it was that dumb, I'd have given it a chew toy.
They treasure knowledge.
Yep, they do. Vander.
Vander skids to a halt, looking back at Augustus and realizing that he's making a stand. He casts, and is the dragon in range for message? 120 feet.
Vander would need to move 10 feet towards Augustus in order to cast a message.
Vander does it. Vander casts message.
Great dragon, if it is knowledge you seek, we can provide a treasure worthy of even you.
Give me a persuasion check at disadvantage, please.
15.
The red dragon's head tilts after you send your message, and you notice that it slows its flying speed.
Who speaks to Cinderim the Mighty in such a fashion? Who are you?
My name is Vander Finnick, Mighty One.
And what are you doing in my lair?
We are here by accident, Lord. A trespass, I know. But if you forgive us this indiscretion, we will bestow a great treasure as an apology for our actions.
What treasure? Speak, little thing.
Are you familiar, Lord, with the Rojan?
No.
They were a powerful people, capable of understanding events of the past, but more importantly, great events of the future.
Were they like you?
Far stronger, Lord. Whole. Better.
Give me another persuasion check, not at disadvantage this time, just normal.
22. Now we're rolling.
Why should the poor care what the ant says? You have knowledge? Show it.
Vander takes out the book he's been poring over and holds it aloft.
True treasure, Lord, is, as you know, knowledge.
One book?
In these writings, King of Abominations,
He tilts his head at that comment.
are held events that even the strongest may not divine. I am too inferior to decipher everything held, but what I can tell from even my meager intelligence is that this book talks of all that is to come. I'm sure one such as yourself would find it no trouble to decipher the mysteries of the future and hold them to your own.
So this conversation has gone on way longer, really, than it should have. So the dragon is going to move closer towards you now.
Okay.
The dragon's wings slow and stop as it lands gracefully 30 feet in front of Augustus.
How, as a side note, if this does go sideways, I'm gonna try and make myself into a ball before I cast every last ounce of power I have onto you.
The dragon's heavy beating wings take it closer to you, and then it lands with an elegant grace.
This one wants to fight.
You are astute, Lord, as ever, but this one only wishes to protect the frail, the broken, one such as myself.
Okay, can I have wisdom saving throws from Augustus and Vander, please?
So that would be 24.
It's a 13 for Vander.
While you're talking, Vander, the dragon rears its head back and lets out an earth-shattering roar, which echoes down the entirety of the tunnel. You have failed your wisdom saving throw, so you are now frightened of this dragon. Frightened creatures have disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls while the source of the fear is in its line of sight. The creature can't willingly move closer to the source of its fear. Augustus, you have passed that. So despite the dragon's roar, with you in your fighter's stance, you are unaffected by its frightful presence.
So, little ant, you have one book. Is there anything else you have to sway my favor?
Such knowledge exists that would dwarf even the mightiest mounds of treasure.
Okay, give me a persuasion check at disadvantage.
15.
If you have nothing more, then you have nothing.
And the dragon's talons dig into the ground as it begins to splay its wings out, ready to attack. End of your turn, Vander?
Dom, I'm going to, for my action, I'm going to hold the polymorph spell, if that's okay.
Tock. And next up on the docket after him is the red dragon.
Oh God, dude.
And we don't want it getting the Sevicon. Ideally, you've done it knowing we've got it, but yeah.
The Sevicon, the 11th book of Elias the Wanderer. Okay, so just a reminder, that allows you to cast one spell up to level 9 for free with no dice roll on your side. So if you're considering using it in this situation, you just need to tell me which spell you are casting.
Ravenous Void doesn't work either.
It might be preferable to this cave at this point. Sounds
Ravenous
sketchy.
Void, yeah.
What's the dimensions of the base we're in?
I cast foam.
So it's 100 feet wide and about, let's say 100 feet tall as well, like a square. That's not very creative, is it? It's 105 feet high and 102 feet wide.
102.735 feet wide.
That can't be upcast. So, thinking aloud, my image options, time stop. Mm-hmm. But time stop has changed since previous editions. So as soon as I pick up one of the other characters, it ends. So it's amazing, actually. Spell ends if any of the actions you use during this period or any effects of any of the actions you create during this period affect any creature other than you or an object being worn or carried by someone other than you. In addition, the spell ends if you move to a place more than 1,000 feet from the location where you cast it.
That's quite rubbish.
Yeah, it's now kind of useless, actually. I think you can use it to cast defensive buffs, but that's about it.
Or escape, I guess.
Or escape, but I can't take my friends with me.
No. But you could leave.
But I could.
Moral quandary.
Yeah, but I think
It's a moral quandary. We're all about to die.
Okay, Tock, it's time. Make the call.
Okay, right. So, Tock, seeing his friends turn around, and despite feeling that he could probably try and pace this dragon to the portal, he's going to turn around, reach into the bag of holding where a hand is proffering him the last book of Elias the Wanderer, the 11th tome. He quickly turns on his heels, moves next to Vander, and uses the book to cast Gate. As he does so, he's going to fix the point, the location on another plane to open a portal on the Emperor Salazar. He is choosing to create a 20-foot radius portal to encompass himself, Vander, and Augustus. God, what happens?
You grab the Sevicon from Tick's hand out of the bag of holding, open it up, flick through, and cast Gate. Above you, a beautiful, spinning, fizzing maelstrom of pink energy suddenly appears. All of you suddenly feel a jerk behind the belly button as you are lifted up and sucked backwards into the gate.
As soon as we get to the other side, Tock is going to stop concentrating on the gate to seal it behind them. Behind us.
Fucking hell. I literally never know where you guys are going at any moment.
Neither do you.
The three of you fall out of the portal in a vast, dimly lit chamber. There are sleek, cold metallic surfaces all around you. The architecture in here is imposing, but sort of minimalist. Sharp angles, symmetrical designs, giving a sense of, like, order and control. And in the heart of the room is an elevated platform where there is a golden throne. The chamber itself is empty. Tock, as you work your magics to close the gate behind you with a pop, you notice that there are scattered battle plans all over the floor exactly where you stand, as well as a couple of cups that appear to show that there were 5 figures stood here when you cast the spell surrounding the Emperor. You are on the Ravager in the Emperor's throne room alone.
Oh my god.
How big is the room on the Ravager?
It is massive. It is a huge, it's almost like the inside of a cathedral, like that kind of massive.
Tock, in this giant echoey space, will say, Vander, Augustus, we have escaped the dragon. We have switched places with the Emperor Salazar.
What? 5 hells.
Approximately 4 other individuals.
Why? How?
The power of the Sevicon, the 11th book of Elias the Wanderer. I believe its magic is exhausted. And Tock puts it back in the bag of holding.
I see, says Augustus, who clearly does not see at all.
Vander dusts himself down.
Once again, Augustus, books. Though I have to say, it was a very brave thing you did.
Thank you, Augustus. Thank you, Vander.
Way.
Augustus is slightly broken.
Yeah.
Where are we? And Augustus sheathes his sword.
A good question. Tock?
We appear to be in a war council. There are battle plans arrayed around us.
Really not knowing what to do with himself and feeling the adrenaline as if he's just facing his death, which he was a second ago, starts scrabbling around on the floor and just gathering up all the plans, thinking that he's got to do something. He's in fight mode, not flight mode. And yeah, he's got to do something. So he just starts roughly picking up all these plans, thinking that we now need to
take them with us.
I don't know, do something.
Tock will help you by indexing them and keeping them properly arranged to put them in the bag of holding.
Well, if you don't know what to be useful. Tock, though, I do still have a question.
Indeed, Vander?
You must have had some idea in your mind when you conjured that rather magnificent spell. Where are we in the more general sense?
The location is uncertain. I believe we are either aboard the Ravager or in the capital city, Lunadyne. The Emperor is known to reside primarily aboard the Ravager airship.
My god.
So he swapped places with us, Tock. He and his counselors, or whoever they were, now face the dragon.
That is correct.
Well, that can only be a good thing, I suppose. Our enemies face each other.
My only regret is the lack of information by not observing the battle.
Oh, agreed, Tock. That would indeed have been a sight.
A door at the end of the chamber opens, and in shuffles a small human. He closes the door behind him, and he's carrying a tray with a number of goblets on it.
Augustus uses the Cloak of Many Fashions to look like a shadow vanguard.
Vander remains looking like a shadow vanguard.
And Tock is going to quickly disguise himself.
What?
His armor flashing blue for just the briefest of seconds until his form changes, like flowing like water, until he looks like the Emperor Salazar wearing his armor.
Holy crap! What?
Oh my god.
The small figure moves closer and closer, holding a tray, and all of you notice that there's a rattling as the goblets. There's obviously some nerves, and he's keeping his eyes down as he moves towards you. I've brought you your drinks, my lord. And he goes towards Tock as the Emperor Salazar.
Tock will pick up one of the drinks and sort of wave a hand towards his Shadow Vanguard flunkies.
Vander takes a drink also.
Augustus takes a couple.
So there's one remaining on the tray. Are we expecting the other paragon to return, my lord?
And Augustus says in a deep voice, "Later, be gone."
Okay, sorry. And he turns around and walks out. And as he's walking out, the final remaining goblet actually falls off the tray, making a huge cacophonous sound that rings out. And you see him desperately scrabbling to pick it up and put it back on. And he's kind of holding them both together. And then he just sprints for the door and gets out.
Once he leaves, Tock will attempt to say quietly to Vander and Augustus, "I believe the disguise will no longer work once I speak in front of the Founders or Shadow Vanguard," in his normal voice.
That is a safe assumption, Tock.
Agreed.
Still, a wise and rather effective disguise.
It was learnt from Bennie, Vander.
Intriguing.
So Augustus kind of tries to sense whether we're moving, because we've heard that we're either in the throne room in Lunadyne or on an airship. Is there any sense of motion?
Give me a perception check, please.
Could I argue for advantage because I spent so much time on airships?
I mean, we have, haven't we?
Yeah, go on then. That sounds reasonable.
That is an 18.
You are currently definitely in the air. You can hear the low hum of the Ravager's engines, but you're stationary. You are not moving in any particular direction. You are just hovering at the moment.
Gentlemen, from the rumbling, I suspect we are on the Ravager. I do not believe we are moving very far, perhaps idling in the air. The ship is known to hover over Lunadyne, and we've seen it over the Fingers. Either place would be dangerous for us, but I also think trying to take control of such a large ship would be dangerous. This would be a fine ship for your fleet, Admiral Finnick.
Yes, as an admiral, I was rather considering the possibilities. Though a ship of this size would take more than the crew we could amass, I'm rather in favor of scuttling. A nautical term.
He says, looking around at the presumably vacant stairs he's being presented with.
That is to say, we should destroy the ship in some fashion. Off the top of my head, I suggest we march to the bridge, and I, as one of the Emperor's underlings, would be able to command them to vacate the bridge.
A superlative plan, Vander, with just 2 minor drawbacks.
Do go on.
We would take a great risk by attempting to bluff our way blindly through the entire ship, and once in control of the vessel, if I've understood you correctly, we would attempt to down an airship upon which we ourselves stand, dying perhaps as we hit the ground.
Considering the risks of today, I would say we are on surer ground than usual.
Very well, Vander. I should just like to remind you that the moon-faced assassin who killed our dear friend Kalen also deprived me of my Featherfall token.
I can assist you there.
Thank you, my dear friend. In that case, let us proceed and pursue that flighty temptress adventure.
Remarkable.
Says Vander, looking at Augustus anew.
And Tock, can we rely upon your support?
I would find your plan to be acceptable, Vander.
Well then, I drink to our plan. What say you all?
And Randa raises his glass.
To the death of the Emperor and the dispatching of the Ravager. Truly, the Order of the Heron is having quite the day.
I can drink to that, Vander. And Augustus chins first one glass, then the other.
Tock, being unable to drink, just stands there motionless.
We all have our part to play.
Oh, actually, just before I do, I just want to quickly look around the room. We've gathered up the battle plans. It's probably worth just seeing
if
what
there are any
they
other...
suggest and anything like that as well.
And Tock will assist in the investigation of the room in a very undignified way for the Emperor Salazar.
On all fours, crawling around.
Oh, amazing. And I take it the plans, do they reveal anything of note, or is it just a giant circle around the known world and dominate with a big...
Who knew their plans were so well developed?
So the plans show detailed and intricate planning towards the invasion of Crimson Reach to the south of Athlon, showing troop movements. You notice that the path of a legion known as the Sons of Kale seems to go directly through Slateholme before then reaching on. You can see kind of lines on the map drawn to show that the Sons of Kale will go to Slateholme and then beyond.
Okay. Bad news for our friends in Slateholme.
It is possible that this detachment is made up of automatons.
An interesting idea. Tock, what makes you say this?
We received news that the factories of Ovik were in production of more automatons. They may be proceeding to Ovik to acquire more automatons as reinforcements.
Yes. Sound reasoning, Tock. I applaud your logic.
Give me an investigation check, please, Vander. At advantage, thanks to Tock with his, with the Emperor's help.
And Tock will also guide him.
Nice.
So that is a 21 with an added 4. Weirdly, I just guessed that.
He literally called it. This is outrageous.
Did I mention that I can demand dice rolls? So that is a 25. Tell me what you have.
The room itself, as I said, is quite sparse, but your investigation specifically around the throne area. So the throne itself is made of metal. It's very tall and jagged, but one of the armrests has a compartment which you find during your thorough investigation.
Is there a fridge?
Opening it up, you find inside a beautifully ornate crown. Augustus, you recognize this as the crown of Cantioch.
The Zombie King! Sorry.
The crown of Cantioch. Where you're from.
You're such a dick.
I know perfectly well what it is. Jesus, I'm trying to do a dramatic moment.
Why would the Emperor keep the crown of the Zombie King?
I didn't say it's a toilet seat made of wood, did I? I said it's an ornate.
I just love that of all the things he holds most dear, it's the crown.
In fact, you tell me it's the crown of Cantioch, and then everyone immediately jumps in to tell me what that means. It's like... way to mansplain my own backstory to me, jerks.
Hang on, didn't you interrupt the dramatic reveal about the crown of Cantioch with a joke about the Zombie King?
Give me a joke. Augustus approaches Vander and says, Vander, do you know what this is?
It appears to be a metal hat, Augustus.
That's correct, Tock, but Vander, do you know what crown this is?
Give me a second.
Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
No, that was absolutely great. All over that.
I can't smile and do the Vander voice.
I believe I do. And if I'm right, I believe this may be yours.
And Vander holds out the crown to Augustus.
And Augustus, first of all, extends his hand and then stops. Not mine, Vander. Lost somewhere perhaps through the mistakes of my family and others, but very much not mine. I should be grateful if you or Tock could keep it. It should be returned and taken from this place, but it should not rest on my head.
I would find that to be acceptable.
Tock takes it and chucks it in the bag of holding.
Wait. None of that happens. Okay.
You hear a load of clinks and it goes down a flight of stairs in the bag of holding.
Because Vander does not release the crown just like that.
Okay. Yeah,
Nor does he say it belongs in the museum, which I'm desperate to say.
Tock's definitely not snatching it from Vander, but Tock will hold out his hand to take it from Vander and proffer the bag of holding.
You're sure, Augustus?
I'm sure of little today, Vander, but I am sure of this. It should be taken back to Cantioch, and who knows what the future may hold. But as of now, I'm certainly no king, and this world has too many pretenders.
Wise words.
Vander cradles the crown for a moment.
And slams it on his own head.
I am the king! Kneel before me!
Emperor Finnick!
So Tock's unaware of the obviously social importance of this metal hat, but can he detect any kind of like magical properties from it?
Give me an Arcana check, please.
Of course, he is going to guide himself with his knowledge of 9th level spells. Which is clearly part of this. 26.
This is definitely magical. A number of the gemstones in it have magical properties, each which provides some form of defense for the wearer. So the central red ruby at the front of the crown adds 1 to the AC of the wearer. The white gem or diamond to the left grants you immunity from fire damage.
It would have been handy against a dragon.
And the diamond on the other side gives you advantage on intelligence saving throws.
The gemstones appear to have multiple defensive properties. There are 3 gemstones. They may be pried loose to distribute the magical properties. Do you wish me to proceed?
Tock takes his all-purpose tool out that has a vicious-looking pair of pliers on there that it looks like he can try and get out some of the gemstones.
Stay your hand, Tock. I do not think we should destroy this item. It may yet come in useful for someone. I do not think we have the right to break it apart.
It is such a useful item, is it not?
Vander says, turning the crown in his hands.
I was going to say, Tock replies looking at the pair of pliers he's got in his hand and says,
Indeed, it has many uses, Vander.
As ever, Tock, your approach to the solemnity of the situation is deafeningly off-key. Now, may I suggest that while we decide what to do with this crown, I place it on my head and roll my hood up over it. A small boon for the hard-working Admiral Finnick. No regicidal elements to this, of course, just while we escape.
Would it, Vander, confer powers should you loop it over your arm?
An acceptable solution. Very thoughtful.
You could perhaps be the hand of the king.
Oh, awful.
Augustus, query. A king and an emperor. They are the same?
It's hard to say, Tock. I suppose an emperor is someone who seeks conquest, a growing empire, where perhaps a king could rule over a settled kingdom.
Ah, the subtleties of etymology.
And this hat, it denotes kingship.
To humans, Tock, yes. Although perhaps your view of events actually makes rather more sense in the circumstances. Perhaps we can use its powers anyhow, and worry less about what it denotes for the time being.
I would find that to be acceptable.
And Tock just turns and walks towards the door.
As you're doing that, Vander, you notice that there is a latched window on the western wall of the Ravager.
One moment, gentlemen.
And Vander strides to the window, but cautiously. I'm not going to just look straight out in case I'm seen. I'm also going to do as Augustus says, and I'm going to wear the crown, but not on my head, so out of sight.
Okay.
If this is like a football field's length away from where we're standing, I guess the Tock will follow, because that would be really weird.
5 minutes later, Vander shuffles towards the one window.
And as you look out, you can see that the Ravager is in the air, as Augustus managed to surmise. Beneath you is a snowy landscape, mountainous and beautiful. One specific mountain is enormous and almost a bluish colour. Augustus, you recognise that as Everfrost, the mountain in Lumatorn, in the north of Cantioch. As you are looking down at the northern realm of Cantioch, you hear a fizzing coming from behind you. Tock, you turn and you can see a very small glowing ember spinning in a circle and getting bigger in the middle of the chamber.
Alarm.
Right, boys, change of plan. Out the window.
And Vander just opens the window.
Is it a... I mean, that'll work.
After you, my liege.
We're not going to cross this giant football pitch-sized room in time, are we? So
No, because that's either the Emperor or the dragon or both. So we do not need that shit.
I went to school in these mountains, Vander. There should be a soft landing in deep snow. Let's go.
Okay, Tock's going to help Vander through the window, and we'll help.
You just throw me out the window.
Basically, yes.
Augustus dives out of the window and shouts, "Don't forget to cast a spell that stops me hitting the ground!"
Damn you, Tock.
As Vander gets launched out of the window.
And with you plummeting to the ground at high speed with you guys playing featherfall chicken with one another, we will end it there.
I've got Vander says,
Wahoo!
Fuck me, if you'd given me
God.
100 guesses to tell me how that episode would have ended, I would never have got anywhere closer. I had to figure out where the fucking Emperor was. I was like, right, how long has it been since they last saw him? Like, what? Oh, Jesus Christ.
You've been listening to Dice Company's Small Embers, starring Alex Morrison as Augustus Zeno, Charlie Blackadder as Vander Finnick, and Harry King as Tock, with Tom Patrick as your Dungeon Master.
The humans of Dice Company would like to thank the following sweethearts for their support: Sepulchre Stennett, Marshall 001, Marky B, Jenny the War Camel, Stephen Sekora, Nori Gosler, Mickey Arnold, Happy Daddy Scotty, Tika, SJ Phionics, Richard Ungamus, Rabbi Camel, Team #Stay Toxic, Path Pursuit, Paris Pakar, Julia Zeno, Shovels, Mama Strange, Queenie, Axel Runholm, and Chris from North London.
I didn't think out the window. I mean, it's great. Don't get me wrong. It's great.
I mean, I love the fact we made this elaborate plan and then just
If you use a level 9 spell to flip-flop them with a dragon and that fails to kill him, then that becomes an enemy you need to run from.
Yeah, who knows? You know, a really bloodied and weakened Emperor may have just flopped out.
Like shard, like Anakin in the... You were supposed to be the chosen one.
I hate you!
As he sees me get fired out the window by Tock.
I was all ready to go through the ship as Paragon Ardea, which is the Latin
you had an idea
for heron.
Oh, that would have been amazing.
I think we,
Ow! By the way,
we can't.
Brava! I'm loving Augustus right now.
Loving it all.
Got some balls.
I like Tox getting out the books, to be honest, as well. It's just good stuff all around.
Yeah, love
Just really feels like Benny's been holding us back.
I'm going to have to draw a map, aren't I? That's the most realistic thing we're going to have to do.
I mean, it can be a line. We're in a tunnel.
Draw a penis.
Yeah, we basically have to ejaculate ourselves to safety.
Thanks, guys.
Super highbrow there.
There was a balls up at one end. We need to reach the tip of redemption.
I hope, Dom, that I hope you prepped.
I hope you prepped what? Have you given what we're talking about? Take it you have a map for this, right?
Oh, God. We're just going to yeet ourselves through the dimensional tear again, and we might end up in a random place.
I mean, I think more likely he's going to need to prep 3 urns.
I'm all alone. There's no one here beside me.
If you make me try and save you guys by saying any random level 9 spell under strict this is not easy. Okay, so what I need from you guys is an enemy of ours that we don't mind expiring, that is on a different plane of existence to us, and they must be in a location that we don't mind going to. So, for instance...
I was going to say the Emperor, but that places us on the Ravager.
I was going to say, but...
I mean, that would be a fucking power play, wouldn't it?
It would be quite fun. So, we've got... So, Dom, it's the gate spell. What we can do, basically, is we can open a portal between the planes that can be up to 20 feet in diameter. We'll all get sucked through one way, and whoever we name will get sucked through the other way, and whoever's within 20 feet of it.
Excellent.
So we could call the Emperor. But he will be near the dimensional tear. Presumably he knows about it, but...
Hang on,
Sorry,
aren't we overlooking the name that we're all fearing to speak here? Bennie.
Oh, that would... well, yeah.
Oh, absolutely brutal. Teamwork.
I mean, we're not going to get to find out what happens. I almost want to stay behind to watch.
Feels like the J.K. Rowling moment, where she wrote the last passage and, kind of worked all the books towards that. I feel like we've just skipped ahead.
You mean like in the last dungeon? Then the Citadel?
Every
We
week.
love a bit of that.
Every fucking week.
There's a few loops playing out, right? So the one is that we do exactly that with dungeons, and the other one is every time we acquire a high-level spell, we instantly roll appallingly and have to use the spell to try and evade it. So this time, I would say we've done the old 2 steps forward. So pretty amazing. I really like the idea of marching onto the bridge and just going, crash the ship.
Yeah.
I need to die. I need to
your plan.
I need to take
it's compelling and rich. Thank God you jumped out a window instead.
Crash the shit. I'm sorry, sir. Could you repeat that?
I'm going to the toilet now. Bye.
Don't knock. I'm doing private business.
Yeah.
Lore.
Thanks for listening. Please consider supporting Dice Company on Patreon, where for the price of a cup of coffee, you get access to a whole other show, Extra Roll, as well as an ad-free listening experience. The Dice Company Discord server, along with our socials, can be found on our Linktree in the show notes. If you enjoyed this chapter, please like and subscribe, and don't forget to recommend us to your friends. If you didn't like it, recommend us to your enemies. And we'll see you next time on Dice Company.